Hey Christians, this is Mitch again, and this time I want to talk to you about the problem of unanswered prayer. You know, Jesus made a lot of extraordinarily broad promises about prayer and what it can do for you. Check out some of these. Wow, that's some powerful stuff. But hey, when was the last time you had all your prayers answered, huh? Listen, as Christians, you have to take what Jesus said seriously. But the only way you can get out of this is to have his words die a death of 1,000 qualifications. Why not take the easier answer? Prayer doesn't always get answered because God doesn't exist.
Here we go again, I suppose.
Come on, why can't you leave me alone?
Oh, because, old chap, you can't seem to stop fouling up your exegesis.
Hey, you leave my digestive problems out of this.
Yes. Look here, old bean. You speak of not taking Jesus' word seriously, yes?
Well, yeah, he meant what he said, and he said what he meant. That's the way I see it.
Oh, indeed, but, are you quite certain you know what he said?
It's right there in plain English, ain't it?
Let me show you something. Now you know this story, yes?
Yeah, what does that have to do with anything?
Do you think this promise was literal?
I don't know, it does seem kind of weird for Herod to promise up to half his kingdom. Maybe he was exaggerating.
Oh, so you don't take what Herod said seriously?
Hey, I didn't say that! I said... Wait a minute, are you saying that Jesus' prayer promises are like Herod promising half his kingdom?
Why, yes, that's exactly what I'm saying. I mean, think about it. If Herod's promise were actually fully literal, one would have to assume that the girl's immediate answer would be along the lines of, "Why, thank you, sir, I'll take the north half, please." After all, with that kind of power, she could get her mother John the Baptist's head anyway. The key here is that to offer half of one's possession was a favorite expression. It simply meant that the person was exceedingly grateful and wished to bestow a generous reward. By the same token, it's a decontextualization to take Jesus' prayer promises as literal promises that are to be taken liberally advantage of. Promises like Herod's were made with the full understanding that they were dramatic hyperbole, not an ironclad literal guarantee. So it's not me who doesn't take Jesus' word seriously, old man. It's you.
That's really weird. I figured you'd go for the argument that prayers aren't answered because it isn't God's will.
Oh, that's quite true as well, but the reality is that in Jesus' day and age, only a small number of sages were considered pious enough to ask for anything they wanted and receive it. And the pious, of course, wouldn't be going around asking for just anything they wanted, but only what they supposed to be in the will of God.
Come on, that's just a qualification you're adding. Jesus didn't say anything about God's will.
No, he hardly had to. A call to believing prayer presupposed a heart of piety submitted to God's will. It's inherent in the very nature of the proposition. Oh, and also have a look at these.
Okay, so?
Well, notice the objects of each prayer, basically daily staples. Not a Rolls Royce or wealth or even being spared suffering or ill health. Now, given those parameters, do you really think those promises by Jesus offer a chance at unlimited largesse? Or do you suppose they might suggest a more humble approach?
Well, I guess. But what's the point of prayer, then?
Well, within the context of an ancient patronage relationship, one in which God the Father is patron and believers are clients, Jesus acts as a broker for those prayers. In such situations, no client expected unlimited granting requests, and likely even knew many of them would not be granted. However, submitting the request was a proper and honorable way of recognizing the authority of the patron. That's also why persistence in prayer is presented as a model. One was expected to continue to recognize the patron's authority even when a prayer was not answered positively.
So what you're saying is, prayer was sometimes sort of like a legal formality?
That would be a somewhat rough way of putting it, but it'll do.
Man, these issues are a lot more complicated than I thought. I just figured if I prayed not to be eaten by a monster, it wouldn't happen.
Oh, did you pray that today?
Of course not. I'm an atheist.
Ah, very well then. Turns out these chaps are a little more digestible than some Beano.